Well, improving the lives of youth is something our next guest is very passionate about. She received the Educational Leadership Award in this year's Urban League Salute to Women in Excellence.
And that's just one of the many accolades that she received for her work. The Hope House is the most recent project of the Jennings school superintendent, and it promises to make a huge difference in students' lives there. Please welcome Dr. Tiffany Anderson. Dr. Anderson, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
I have to say, may I just jump in, that I was so interested in this whole concept because it didn't even occur to me that there was such a need in certain school districts with kids in homeless kids. How serious is that?
Absolutely. Missouri has over 20,000 homeless children in the state of Missouri. So in Jennings alone, we only have about 3,000 students, generally between 2,500 and 3,000. Out of that, about 200 roughly every year are homeless. So it's a significant problem. In Jennings, we have 100% free lunch students. So a significant high poverty population, but out of that, a lot of kids that don't have a place to lay their head at night.
So Jennings has done something that I don't, you're more in tune with other superintendents across the country, I'm sure, but to me this was something very unique, that the Jennings School District has actually opened up basically a shelter for some of the homeless students who literally have nowhere to go.
We have, and there is another district that has something similar that we went and studied. Maplewood, Richmond Heights has a place called Joe's Place. Our place is a little different than that, but we studied the only place we really could find. It is unique. It's not something that school districts normally jump and do, but we see the need to make sure that we, as a school system, interrupt this cycle of poverty. I mean, we really have this opportunity to change a community, and so that's what our work is all about. So because we have so many kids that are homeless, we decided to take one of the buildings that we already own, a home, and we restored it, and over the course of 30 days, and it's being open for children who are homeless as well as foster children.
And Dr. Anderson, how is that going to work? How many students can stay there, and can they just stay there a certain amount of time, or how are you going to run it?
Well, approximately the home can approximately hold about 10 people, but we're starting off slow, so we do have a bit of a waiting list. 2 of the students will be students who are foster care placements. So they're therapeutic students, so they've been through some traumatic experiences, and they will be placed there. Our foster couple is a therapeutic foster couple, so that's 2 of the students. The remaining students, right now we have 2 that will be placed as early as next week, and potentially 3. Again, we do have a waiting list beyond that. But these are young people who actually, in this case, they're seniors. They have good grades, and they have, one's been homeless for over a year, another one for 6 months. It's really a scary thought. And to think that they still show up. One of the students takes college-level classes. All they need is a running start. And if as a community we can do that for them, oh my gosh, just think of how we change not only their lives, but our lives in St. Louis.
Well, I'm sure you probably find it frustrating as well when people look at, from afar, they'll look at a struggling school district and they usually focus on, well, the teachers, it's the teachers, and they really don't take a step back and take a look at what are these students going through. If a student has nowhere to sleep and there's no food in their stomach, or they're going through some sort of traumatic situation, the best teacher in the world is going to struggle to address the needs of that child.
Absolutely. We believe in serving the whole child. We know that if you do not have food in your stomach, if you aren't ready to learn, it's really hard to learn. And in fact, you won't. Jennings, again, 100% free lunch. And here's just a little data that kind of backs up what we're doing. 3 years ago, we were almost unaccredited. We had about 56%, 56, 57% of the state standards that were met. The next year, we had over 60. The next year, 78. You need 70 to be accredited. This year, we have 81%. We have a 92% four-year graduation rate. 100% of our kids were placed in college or in jobs at the end of last year.
Wow.
We are committed to make sure that poverty is not an excuse for failure. Poverty is just a challenge. But if we help our kids get beyond that, we've given them a running start and ultimately close the economic gap that exists.
So the Hope House is for kids that, because of things going on in their home lives or personal lives, don't have a place to go, maybe homeless, or maybe it's a dysfunctional home. Who knows what it is, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we have, sometimes parents are deceased, sometimes incarcerated, sometimes just the lights are off and the parents have a bad situation. It's not good for the kids to stay there.
But what's interesting about it, Debbie, I don't know if you know this, it's not like they're not going to be supervised. There's a neat story about, it's a lady and her son that are going to, I guess, be the the parent of the house.
You know, and actually the foster couple has changed. The secretary, we did have a secretary that was going to retire just to take this on. She's in grad school and is not able to really fix her schedule accordingly. So the foster care placement, the Missouri Baptist, who's our partner in all this, they have another couple. They were getting married in a few months. They got married yesterday. They've been foster caring for about 10 or 15 years, and they are phenomenal. So they are preparing to move in actually at the end of this week, so that we can get our kids in as soon as possible.
Well, your enthusiasm is infectious, so I'm sure that has a lot to do with the success at Jennings, but going from 56% to 81% in, what did you say, 3 years?
3 years.
That's pretty phenomenal. You, I hope, are getting a lot of national attention too. People trying to figure out, wow, how did the Jennings School District do that?
We are, and you know, we're telling our story in ways that lets people know that, you know, the Hope House is called Hope House because it really restores hope. It says that everybody can do this. This is really replicable. Think about the big cities and all of the empty buildings that are not being used that could be repurposed for something really positive. And so for us, we just need the community to kind of galvanize and assist us in ways that they can, donating, visiting the Hope House, any way that they can contribute, we are excited to have.
And Dr. Anderson, a few moments ago, we saw some photographs on the screen there. I think some were you, sort of fixing the house up. So it looks like there's a real effort to make this place feel like a home. It's not just a boarding house for kids who nowhere to go, but you're trying to create sort of a home atmosphere.
Oh, absolutely. In fact, the home was a 1920s priest rectory. What better place to call a Hope House? And so we actually decorated it as if it were our own home. And they'll have dinner in the evening at a certain time with their family. We're really kind of teaching the family structure. You know, you asked how long the kids can stay. We track our kids through college. I literally have a counselor that tracks them not only when they leave high school, but through college. We can guarantee that we can place them in a job. We can ensure they're successful. So these kids will stay until they finish high school. We'll place them in college or a job, and then we'll receive our next set of students that come in. And so it really feels like a home. We asked one of the kids in their interview, what will help you be successful? She said parents. You know, so it just breaks your heart, but it doesn't have to break your heart. You can do something about it.
And it'll be great, too, in a few years when some of those success stories who graduated from college can come back and talk to the kids and show them what can be accomplished. When you talk about getting the community behind you, what kind of things are you needing, or what kind of ways can people in the community help to keep this success going?
Well, and a couple of things. One, they can just go to our website, JenningsK12.org. That's one space to go, and they'll see a list of needs. They'll see a Donate Now button if they just want to donate financially. We have a gala on April the 1st. The funds will be going to the Hope House and the scholarships. And then things like just toiletries and items that the STL nursery mentioned. I'm so glad to have that connection that you had on the show. So just really, and then canned goods. You know, today is our food pantry. We serve 8,000 pounds of food a month.
Wow.
And so we have a huge need for food. So Hope House, if people want to donate food, canned goods, we're open for that.
Well, fantastic. Dr. Anderson, thank you for sharing that success story with us. I hope it's an inspiration for all of the other districts and all of the folks in the community for ways that they can actually exact real change.
I think it's going to make a difference.
Absolutely. Thank you again for having me.
Well, we hope that you enjoyed this episode of St. Louis Presents.
And we'd like to thank all of our guests today, and we thank you at home for watching. Come back and see us again.
We'll see you next time on STL TV.